What's the good of your smartwatch if your battery is dying quickly and not even lasting you a full day? Well, I've got 5 tips to help extend your watch battery. Smartwatches are amazing, however, lacking in battery life just like our phones. Well, if you're like me, you're probably pushing your watch to the max with apps, notifications, searches, and more. And so you're probably popping it onto the charger every single night. Well, I have 5 tweaks that are going to help you stretch that battery life and maybe even stretch it into a second day. First, let's start with brightness. So just like your phone, the brighter the screen, well then the more battery it's going to take. So just by adjusting your brightness down just a couple of notches, that's going to help save your battery a little bit each time. And then you can just use the brightness boost as you need. Dropping a brightness level or 2 probably won't bring a hugely noticeable change to your battery life. However, if you go from the top end, so a 5 or a 6 setting, depending on which watch you have, to say a 2, well then you might pull a couple more hours each day because every bit counts. And if you keep it on a lower setting, you can always tap the brightness boost for a temporary enhancement, which is especially handy outdoors. Next up is the always on screen. So while it's nice to have the screen on all the time, you are sacrificing a ton of battery life in the process. Having the always on or ambient screen enabled is ideal since it means the time is always visible without twisting your wrist or tapping on the display. Sadly, it's a dramatic battery drain. In my day-to-day testing, I found that my Moto 360 watch lasted about half of a day longer simply by turning that feature off. If battery life is one of your main concerns, then this should be one of the first things that you try to see if it makes a difference. Even though it means your watch face will be blank the majority of the time, the battery benefits are significant. Love all those notifications? Well, with every single one, you're draining your battery life. You don't need all those apps notifying you every single time something comes up, so what you can do is just take those less essential ones and move them over to your block list. It's an easy fix. So from the Android Wear app on your phone, you can block all notifications from certain apps. So games, other essential use apps are ideal ones to block on your wrist, although social media alerts can feel overly abundant as well. Your results will vary based on how many notifications you're starting with, but you might add minutes or potentially an hour or 2 between the charges. One handy feature is the tilt to wake, since it means that the display doesn't have to be on full blast or on at all when you're not looking at it. However, this is another place where you can save some battery life by turning this feature off right inside the phone's app. To turn off the tilt to wake screen, you open up the Android Wear app, click settings, and then under your watch settings, you can turn it to on or off. Now you can just tap on your watch face should you need to check notifications. Last suggestions are adjusting these quick smart settings, like adjusting the notification modes and even bringing it into theater mode to disable the screen. If you don't mind going quiet on your wrist for a bit, you can minimize alerts or even turn off communications entirely, which can save a lot of juice depending on mode and time used. The priority mode is your first line of defense, so only whitelisted notifications can come through, so you won't get every email, text, or even Twitter ping. You can then turn off all notifications, alarms included. Theater mode is the next step up. It's meant to be used at a movie or performance, and the watch won't engage your screen at all until you turn it back on. If you don't plan to glance at your screen for a good while, kick it on this mode and save some power. It's not only good etiquette in a social gathering, but it's also going to cut down on energy consumption. Lastly, if you want to turn your smartwatch dumb for a while, engage airplane mode from the settings. This is going to cut all communications, which means no alerts or web usage from apps, but your watch will still tell time. Better yet, it's going to do so while using less battery life than normal. This is a drastic measure, but if you don't need those extra capabilities on your wrist, then this is going to be a perfect measure for you just to save that watch battery until your next charge. Alright, so I've armed you with some great tips to help keep your watch battery in check. Let me know which ones work for you, and if you have a trick of your own, just let me know inside the comments. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please do because we bring out new videos every single week. I'll see you soon.